right now on Chalet. Ladies and gents, welcome to the casting desk. Let's get into it here. Now, the very curious thing about these two teams right now, Lynx, I was looking over some stats and stuff before we got here to the casting desk. Yeah, I know, first time for everything, right? Soniqs and BDS actually both have kind of a mimic thing going on right now. It's not truly Soniqs versus BDS in this matchup, Lynx. I don't know if you know that. It's actually Shaiko versus Grixer. In the most disgusting way possible, they are actually a perfect mirror of each other, minus their entries. Walk us through it.
Well, I'm glad he did, because I pulled this up just to talk about this as well.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Me and Lynx, we got this whole casting thing going on.
Shaiko and Grixer both at a 1.29 rating. Both have, and I can't believe this, 32 kills so far in Phase 2. Grixer a little bit less deaths, and aside from that entry stat, as it's 4-0 for Grixer and 9-2 for Shaiko, cost almost the same. Survivability, 0.03 differential. Not survivability, excuse me, that's KPR. But both averaging around a 1 kill per round. This is ridiculous stat lines from the two players leading these teams.
Oh, and shout out to Analysis R6, because that's where I got some of my stats here for this.
Hey, shout out to CGG, that's for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Both doing a bang-up job of things, but this is a fantastic stat that I found. Their duels per rounds are practically the same as well, and they have the highest out of the majority of the teams here. I mean, you look at Grixer 1.59 and Shaiko 1.74. Not very shocking, honestly, when you consider their play style.
And you might be wondering, why are we going so hard on the stats for these individual fraggers? Why do we focus on this so much? Well, for BDS, they invest so much in a player like Shaiko. He is often what can make or break rounds for BDS. So if Soniqs can have someone who can put up the same numbers, go toe-to-toe with a player like Shaiko, what can often be the win condition for a team like BDS, especially when rounds get down to the wire, if Soniqs can have someone to look to, be it Grixer or somebody else, they might be in a good spot in this series, even if the resources and the play styles aren't exactly one-to-one.
We've got our two virtuosos set up here between BDS and Soniqs, but the tail of the tape for these two teams is what happens with the rest of these rosters, because both of them have honestly not been performing up to snuff. You look over at the Soniqs, you look over at Geo, for instance, he's just not really having the land that we expect, and honestly, the same can be said about Brede. Both of them just running into some obstacles in the current moment, and I mean, across the board for the remaining members of these rosters, respectfully, they've all been having their own individual struggles. Right now in this best of 3, right here, right now, they're both facing elimination. This is the biggest moment to try and prove what you've been working on in the past and trying to make these big adjustments. Speaking of which, I have a moment here for the Soniqs as they're quickly trying to work their way in off of this Dokkaebi call.
I hear someone just around the corner of that wine doorway, a 3-man conga line down the laundry hallway, but they won't push in the site just yet. Instead, they'll push up the main stairs control. They know attacking the basement bomb site on Chalet, acquiring control of that dining hatch is important, but it's not Grixer who goes toe-to-toe with Shaiko. It's instead Geo, who trades out Citizen, being taken down by the Solus early on.
The logic bomb out here. Great discovery onto Shaiko, able to get that Solus out early on, but now Lem's in hot water here inside of Kitchen. Doesn't really have any assistance either. He's the lone soul here, and he will die alone as Gunnar will take him down. Big pickups here for the Soniqs, able to handle the BDS roam, and Renshiro is slowly going to back this off over on the blue side. They can't give up any more bodies.
That's true, but the only downside, well, aside from losing Gunnar very shortly after acquiring control of that dining hatch, is the loss of Citizen. They're deprived of hard breach now, so opening up that wine wall a little bit difficult. Geo losing a big fight. Licky Feck with this SMG-11. They might not have won in that W7M game yesterday, but no one can deny the skill that the lurker on BDS has with that secondary.
We saw some incredible moments from EFAC yesterday on Oregon, and kind of personally gave me a little bit of a skewed view because he's actually even right now, but positive with those 2 kills across the land up until this point. So, huge discovery from him. Definitely put Soniqs on their back foot as they have to try and figure things out now. Again, a very aggressive look over towards the laundry side of things. Try and bring it in, but no real way to try and vet things out. So they just don't really trust the push. I mean, really, why would you? There was a lot of answers there for BDS as well. Things would have gotten really murky if that swing goes off on that door.
The loss of Citizen early on will now force Rexen and Grixer to push in through this single doorway, or maybe rotate a player over to push down blue stairs, but they're in a disadvantage. Somebody's got to go big. They've hacked the Dread Mine to allow a push in through wine doorway to be easier, but as Rexen distracts from the rest of BDS, is anybody watching the backside as Grixer lurks down the stairway. Legion so focused, but Gumine activated. The sound cue gives away Grixer's position. He's the man with the diffuser as well. If he goes down, so do Soniqs' hopes at taking this first round. Somebody needs to get this kill from Soniqs, and it just might be Grixer as he overperforms. Rexen 2! A 3v2 to start. Not if BDS got anything to say about it, but in a close 1v1 and in a close round 1, Soniqs take the lead.
The most beautiful part of that 2 versus 3 there was Rexen just being the most annoying bastard on that laundry side, just constantly popping shots with the 417. And you saw how it distracted so much of BDS. Even Renshi heard that Gumine behind him. He still has to keep his eyes trained on that door because they don't know when Rexen is going to try and get aggressive. And it allows Grixer, of all people, a huge moment in blue, which is something you never want to hear if you're rooting against Soniqs.
And for Soniqs, even before they lost Citizen at that big moment early on, losing their only hard breacher, they still had great priority recognition, or at least situation recognition, because they focused on the dining hatch. They know how important it is. They don't waste much time taking it down, but they do let Shaiko get active early on. So there are a lot of different pieces, a lot of different moments that if they either go accounted for by BDS or by Soniqs in future rounds, be it Shaiko getting aggressive or Soniqs clearing out a position, could change the fate of this game depending on what happens. But Soniqs get the first round. Now they get to attack Bar and Gaming. We didn't talk about the operator bans much, but to be fair, it's pretty simple. Aside from the Thatcher ban, we don't see that often anymore. But for the defense, Azami taken off the board by Soniqs. They do not like playing against this operator. And on Bar and Gaming specifically, they'll be very happy that she's not here.
Let's see, does BDS have a setup on top blue? Quick question here for you. Not going to have the deployable shield. Yeah, the reason I was asking is because we saw how impactful Thatcher can be on this map with clearing out ADSs and stuff like that. You can completely circumnavigate a lot of the setup, especially if it's based on electronics. So could be a good spot ban there from BDS. Just try and keep things locked up for a longer period of time, but didn't really thwart Soniqs' game plan all that much in that last round. So they're going to shift their line just a little bit. Still do have that Dokkaebi in for Geo, but Gunnar also going to have the Ying.
Leaving out that Ying, always a risk against North American teams. I mean, everyone across the world loves that operator. She's the most banned op at the event, but the amount of times I see that Ying brought North America, the amount of well-practice we have with her, gonna be more than happy to have those Candelas. Alem's pushed down to the death spot inside of Library early on, and while there is no deployable shield, BDS's solution is to have Shaiko play inside a master bedroom early on and still play these blue stairs. We have the projectile denial, but even if he doesn't have a shield, this is one of the best fraggers in the world we're talking about. He can still hold down this position if Soniqs give him a 1v1 that even favors him by a percentage.
Soniqs are going to be working on this library side. Geo's here to man the window for the cross. They have Rexen out on Eagle balcony, and then you'll have Citizen, Grixer, and Gunnar trying to work library balc here with arrows as well as frag grenades. Some damage being taken by both respective parties here. It's going to be Grixer as well as Renshi that both get tagged up. But it's just a duel of fates here, folks. They're going to go back and forth and constantly do this dance until something gives on one end. And it just so happens to be Renshi going down to Rexen.
Just trying to apply as much pressure as they can, and once they have that pick, they send the Candelas and send Citizen on in. Lickyfact trying to hold things down to the piano side. Geo with a huge pickup and keeping the man advantage as BDS cuts down Gunnar. The Ying pushing into piano, but Shaiko still holding things down on the library stairs. He'll retreat back to the site on low HP.
He has to play patiently here. 3 versus 4, and this is a player that you want alive in these clutch moments. He can make matters most for BDS, especially if he can hold on to blue here. You see he's rotated downstairs. Because he doesn't really want to get droned out, but oh, a great find here as Geo has hacked the cameras, it seemed. I'll have to take out that camera. I don't know if it was being immediately gunned there by Gunnar, but either way, they have discovered Shaiko down low, and this could change up this round for the better for Soniqs.
Shaiko have to hit the flank on a different position, but it's an effective 4v2 on the bomb side right now. Just Alems and BDS in critical position, sure, but if Shaiko doesn't hit that flank in time, this round might go the way of SQ, the second one in a row. He's moved back to Fireplace Stairs now, but SQ have not moved down below. Citizen spots one, moving around the bar. Alem's cut down in the site. That's what Geo needed to find. Shaiko finally hits a kill, but Citizen's just around the corner. Grixer 2, Soniqs win 2 in a row as their attacks, while slow, are effective in the end.
They're taking their time, man. I loved the squeeze on that top floor, just making it to where BDS had to get a little antsy about the situation. Renshi oversteps by just enough of a margin. He loses his life defense, Soniqs take full sweeping control of library, lock up the stairwells, and start readdressing what's going on around the building. I especially love the fact that Gio was able to get the cameras hacked, and they did have some sensible knowledge as to what was happening with Shaiko. Obviously, he's still able to get away with some semblance of a play there, but Soniqs just had so many bodies, and they were so oppressive once they did go for that execute that it was kind of a moot point.
Soniqs also showing their expertise on this map. 2-0 in the NAL so far, and is widely considered to have been for years now one of this org's best maps, no matter the roster. The institutional mentality they have, the strategy that's been built up over the course of years, the play style they've cultivated, they've always preferred Chalet. Now BDS, they haven't, the energy's here. You got to appreciate that. SQ have come to play. And while BDS haven't played it much, this is still a team. They're going to be practiced on it. They're going to have something. Defense has always been difficult to win on Chalet, but SQ have shown so far in these attacks that they know how to make those defenders uncomfortable in power positions, and as we move back to basement, now it's on BDS to adjust.
Lynx, you like Rocky movies?
I haven't seen them, but I really got to appreciate what Rocky stands for.
Yeah, he's an American pastime, an American hero, right? But there's something that happens in every single Rocky movie that even people that haven't seen them know about. And it's the fact that Rocky has to get his ass kicked first before he's able to actually box. Guys, welcome to North American Siege. We have to get punched in the face a couple of times, and then we wake up. Soniqs is here to play, folks. This is the most energy, the most chaos we've seen this team create throughout this entire event so far. And it's very exciting. They seem to be firing on all cylinders. So we'll see if they can keep this team play up. So far, so good for them on Chalet, and they are taking it to BDS. BDS, though, have a couple of things still loaded up in the chamber, Lynx. They're going to send this one all the way back downstairs, try and see if they can find a solution.
Rexon almost finds the Solus, but Shaiko moving deep into stock. Now retreats into bar. Not many attackers can cut off his position immediately. Shaiko doing some good damage to the Soniqs intel economy. 5 drones remaining as we just reach a minute into the round, and a Doku call used. Will Soniqs find anything off of the usage of all of that utility? They've at least entered library, but Leaky Fact still on this roam. Will make sure he doesn't avail himself to the attack at the moment. They need to hold this dining hatch, and as Soniqs haven't pushed quickly up West Main, it's still very much in BDS's control.
This is a great roam here from BDS. They're playing the timer perfectly, following things back off over on the Solarium side, and this is just going to allow them to vacate the premises if they want to. They can just go right down West Main, don't have to worry about things too much. It can reinsert themselves back into the site and try and address Soniqs if they do try and go for more of a garage assault. Either that, or you can play these angles like a Lems is, but you can see they're kind of splitting the payload there. Beautiful setup here from the Soniqs. I love this with the boogie drone. We've been seeing this a little bit over on Consulate, you know, especially with the triple floor thing that we kind of have going on over there, but this is another beautiful example of what Siege can bring to the table with its different operators.
And when you see that ram on a basement defense, we didn't talk much about it, but it often signals a snowmobile take for this very reason. You can open up so many useful angles, especially on the Heaven balcony that you saw Rexon playing on, to look through 2 different floors, but more importantly, enable somebody to move in and get a plant. Where will it come from? Soniqs seem to favor Snowmobile, but Shaiko cuts down both the players playing on the breach. From the blue hallway, Grixer and Citizen have both gone down and dropped the case dead outside of the Snowmobile wall. Lems picks up a 3rd for BDS as Rexon and Gio struggling to find any momentum in this round. Rexon will look to the Legion around the corner, maybe to find one. That's a crossfire on the bottom of these stairs. Even if he picks up one, he'll surely be traded out soon after. Gio now fallen. BDS very dominantly answering back, as Rexon will likely only get one for his troubles before being finished off.
And that's a statement round right there from Shaiko. There's only a couple people in the world that can split decisions like that and kill both players. That was a garage player and a main stairs player trying to influence him at the same time, Lynx, and he kills both of them. Opens that round up massively for BDS. Soniqs, they do everything right, man. Their strategy worked. They got things open. Things were ready to go. It's just that Shaiko had the firepower.
And let's just check this out on the replay. What can he do? 1v1, 2 1v1s. He knows somebody's going to peek on main stairs. Shaiko's been around the block a few times. Again, like you said, not necessarily SQ doing anything wrong, but when you have such a dominant player inside of the international,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen sometimes. And that might be a good idea for Soniqs, that if Shaiko's going to be playing that position, maybe we do focus more on the wide-sided execute instead of the snowmobile ones, where we are a bit more available to wide swinging, and there are a lot of angles for us to worry about.
To this day, arguably, I mean, not even honestly, arguably, Shaiko is probably the best player in the world on the swing. If he's swinging you, there's a very major chance that you're probably going to die. So See if he can continue on his tirade here into round 4, but it'll at least be good for 1 round now. BDS is going to go to their kitchen defense, which means how are they going to handle this top floor? That's really what we're trying to look at. Lems is going to try and handle things downstairs with Solus, which is a great idea. We've been talking ad nauseum about this operator throughout the entire event and just how impactful she can be on the drone game. Let's see where Soniqs want to start things off, Lynx. They want to start things off over on the library balcony, a preferred take for many a team in North America.
North American teams do typically prefer to go for that full clear. Not so much, you know, the method of Virtus Pro, attacking those solar stairs, going for the direct. No, they like to enter from library, acquire that control, but then whether it's dining or master bedroom and office, open up that office wall and then slowly press control. Sometimes teams will go for the full clear. They'll take full control of solar, bathroom, but more often than not, it'll instead just be a half clear. They'll open up that office wall, but then make sure that nobody from the defense can retake the vertical angles, watching the diffuser or the default plant spot inside of dining.
You want to establish your cut. That's what you want to do. A perfect example of something like this is Nomad as a whole, right? You can perfectly slice a map in half just by putting things in proper places, but you can also do it with drones, guns, whatever you really need to do, but that's just the mindset that goes into a setup like this. When it comes to Soniqs, though, they're really going to want some control over this top office space, and that's why you see them flirting around with the office door right here on Ego Balcony. Grixer's going to be on the outside here, and is this going to be the very first duel that we get between the two superstars?
Shaiko tries to put a dread mine on that wall. Of course, he can't activate it. Could very easily be shot. He goes for the swing, but excellent play from Soniqs. They're expecting it. They know Shaiko's been playing that Fenrir, and whether or not they know it's him or not, they just wait for the swing, and Shaiko over peaks. And for once in his life, does not win the one he seemed destined to.
Disgusting on the swing, but when you have two people waiting with bated breath right outside the door, always going to be a difficult fight. Even one of the best players in the world. Soniqs shut him down, and this is going to open up the top floor. This is going to allow Geo to start working things out here with the Monty. They want to try and pressure everybody back, Lynx, get them down that Solarium stairs, and then try and address things through verticality. We're going to be looking at Gunner as well as a few others to try and deal with this, but that doesn't mean that there can't be influence from downstairs. Nitro Cell comes out from Brede, and it'll find Gunner.
It does find Gunner, but that means if SQ can get in position for a plant, there is no C4 remaining for BDS to deny. It'll have to primarily be, well, from those impact grenades potentially, but could be from singular gunfights taken by BDS, but it's only 30 seconds left. Soniqs have decided to push all the way across that top floor, so while they've gathered a lot of control, everyone from BDS has fallen down below, and if Soniqs want to push this site, they have to march down the solar stairs with all the BDS guns trained at them. The Monty's supposed to force, break that stalemate, allow someone to enter in. Grixer will find his way through. Will he land the trade? Yes, he will. Advantage acquired once again by Soniqs as they make it a 3v2. 3v1 as Lems is found on the run out outside of the garage position, but Brede creeps up. Are they watching the diffuser? Yes, they are. Citizen cuts him down. 3-1 for Soniqs.
Fantastic strategy coming out from the Soniqs, especially with that pressure on the top floor. They wipe everyone clean. Yes, they lose Gunner, but the hatch is already open, so they don't have to really worry about that. They can just use the verticality for themselves and lock things up. The biggest issue then is, where do we plant the bomb, right? So they have to try and clear things out. They send it over towards the trophy side, and yeah, it's all well and good. BDS is able to make a play with their Wamai, but it's not enough. They're able to battle back and buffer off a lot of BDS. Then it comes down to Brede, and there's really no chance for him to work back into that round, just given the circumstances of positioning, especially with that verticality. If it wasn't going to be that kitchen player to the right, it was going to be somebody else.
It's great for Soniqs to continue expanding this lead. Oh, Gunner just stepping on it right as it explodes. But we've seen a lot of teams this tournament. Parker and I were actually talking about it a couple days, I think, after the play-ins. A big theme this tournament is teams losing their own map pick but winning their opponents. And those often end up being extremely close series. So if Soniqs can just secure Chalet and then move on to Bank with clean, fresh heads, they'll be in a great spot as this tournament. Many teams have found it to be inconsistent when they're playing their own maps.
Speaking of inconsistent, BDS, the exact opposite of that right now, actually. Consistency across the entire board right now, whereas a lot of the other games that we were watching, Shaiko was definitely the raid boss of BDS. As of right now, not as active as we've seen him, but he's already made his presence known in these rounds. Obviously, the one round that BDS picked up, practically a Shaiko round through and through. So now for the Soniqs, try and address the kitchen setup yet again here. What's going to be the adjustment from BDS to try and slow this down?
They do drop the Solus. Alem's instead focusing more on the site. They saw how slow Soniqs' take was, and they think maybe with those Electro Claws, the Mute Jammers, the Goo Mines even to a certain extent, they'll be able to slow down the Soniqs library over clear by just a few more seconds. That'll allow BDS more time and more opportunities to close out that round. And they still have BDS with that C4 from below, and Alem's now switching to that Cade adds a second to the mix. So there are more opportunities for BDS to take down Soniqs defenders from below inside of the site without even needing to take a gunfight.
Some great finds here and a beautiful lineup from Geo. Immediately threw that EMP at the top of the wall. They already knew that a Kaid was in play. Didn't have to worry about anything else, so won't incorrectly dedicate himself. So now with that open, they're going to be able to apply at least some pressure towards the top floor, but Rexon's immediately cut down. He was trying to assist with the Monty play here. Geo will take a tad bit of splash damage from that impact, but it's mostly going to be just slowing down this push for now. Reggie's going to take a little bit of damage too here. Exactly know where that boiled over from, but you can see Soniqs doing their damnedest to try and get these players into positions where they can start trying to paddle back against the site.
Citizen trying to find the Solar player. Might be V-Pick to bring it back, though Shaiko taking a lot of damage from a different position. Seemed to be a vertical hole, but there we go, the trophy window. Nice rotation by Grixer as he cuts down one of the defenders, rotating back to the site. Shaiko and Alem's all made it. Baliki Fact now down. And just like last round, 45 seconds left. We are in a 4v4. But Geo the Monty with the case is on low HP, and they've not opened Dining Wall either. Soniqs do not have the main entry point you hope for. They're just back to this singular, linear Solar take. And if they lose a kill, if they don't have that advantage, it is so problematic. But that's the issue. Soniqs keep getting that advantage. Alem's on the rotate, denies it though, but Shaiko on low HP.
There's only one person on site right now, and it's Alem's. Nitro Cell rather, even downstairs. Only player on site, BDS, actually, but Gunner's gonna be able to take down Shaiko. They found a place to plant. Let's see how this defense tries to rotate into this.
And they have the info. They know one player covering as well, but they don't know Citizen just cutting it close on the Solar stairs, but cutting off the singular rotation that BDS needed to retake.
Soniqs, in 2 low time executes, they get what is necessary. They get things done against the site players. So much pressure boiling over, especially from Trophy. BDS constantly trying to jive for control over there, but they're losing body after body to Grixer with a 417. One of the best angle guns in the whole game, Lynx. It's crazy how much damage that thing does. Now for BDS, giving up the goods when it really mattered on that far side is going to be the biggest detriment to them, but it was a tall ask, really, especially with the pressure coming in from Monty. Geo with a great decision there.
And I think if you look at both teams right now, I mean, for 9 players in the lobby, the kills are all pretty much even. No one on either team has more than 6 kills or less than 2. Gunner even. On the Soniqs 4-1, he's got 2 kills. The only exception, Renshiro 0-5 at the moment. And on that Dining defense, he's been the player to try to stop that Solar position, that flank down the stairs. And both times, Grixer found him. And that allowed, well, I guess Geo too, but Grixer and Geo on the pinch. That allowed Soniqs to push down in what was a very tight execute and still somehow win. So even though the rest of BDS are performing well, Renshiro 2 rounds now in a key position, not able to bring it.
Absolutely. Another key factor walking into that, later portion of that round too, they had done so much damage to Shaiko. He can't really try and ice the round. He has to be picture perfect about everything he does because he's got like 5 HP. There's really nothing you can do in a situation like that. So Soniqs, through and through right now, through patience and coordination, are taking it to BDS.
But for the final defense, we are back down to that basement bomb site where we saw Shaiko completely shut SQ out of their snowmobile execute. But I have to imagine they won't try that same thing again. We have the Maverick opening up the snowmobile wall, so they might go for something on that side. But you still usually open this wall no matter what execute it is. If you're going for a snowmobile take, it's where you go to defuse. But if you're going for a wine-sided take, you still open this wall and have someone play it to relieve pressure and stop BDS from rotating for free in the site.
Oh, Citizen. A tale as old as time. We didn't fix the map trick.
Oh!
And now he has to try again. Ah!
You've got to be kidding me. He risks it like that?
And it's Shaiko. Shaiko couldn't find him. He saw the shadows of his feet there just for a second. But fortunately enough, Citizen, he's got the fast shoes on today. Dashes through. They're going to have to try and address this on this side, but Shaiko, he's found a home somewhere else, and once again, reading it through exactly what the setup's going to be for Soniqs. He knows that garage influence is coming through, but also some main stairs action that could boil over. He'll find Rexen as he dons the top of the stairwell.
And this is such a good position for BDS to put Shaiko in to try to cut off anybody playing that garage wall, but Grixer finds a Lems. Guess who's going on the flank? Guess who's trying to retake that man count lead? It's Shaiko now playing on the fireplace stairs. Geo with the diffuser just so close. Soniqs don't have a solid inroad into this round, at least with Dining they had a way down Solar, even if it was tight, and now with Citizen cut down, Connor might start feeling pressure, might feel like he needs to make a play. Shaiko certainly is the MVP of both BDS's basement defenses so far, and might just be the reason they take round 6.
Does BDS run through Shaiko? Well, as of right now, it does, but Grixer, he's found a gap in the defense! Oh my god! A triple kill for him! He's blown the back out of this round! BDS, can you get it done, Renshi, in the clutch? 1 and 5. This would be the biggest moment for him.
But 1 HP. Grixer's got 1 flash and he uses it well, but he blinds himself! A brutal misplay to cost a likely 5-1 half if he just landed that flash, but just not enough.
One of the most disgusting basement rounds on Chalet that I have ever seen, and it ends with a clutch from Renshi. His number was called, Lynx. It's a 1 versus 2. He's got 0 kills, but 0 kills be damned. He's got 2 now. Huge clutch moment for him that BDS, if they end up taking Chalet, will definitely look at as a saving their bacon moment.
6 rounds in, and this game is already giving everything we hoped it would be. Great play from Soniqs in their 4 attacking rounds. Great play from Shaiko, and BDS setting him up for success. I mean, this is one of the best, obviously, players in the world. We've talked about it, but Solus in particular, the way he's able to use that Specchio, find gaps where the attack is potentially playing, but also just give himself 50 bullets, 50 chances at a kill. Easily the MVP of BDS's defensive half, as even though he got smoked by Grixer there, he's the player that has opened up their 2 basement wins.
Just goes to show you as well how important it is to hit headshots with that P90, right? You have a lot of opportunity with it, like you said, 50 bullets, but if you don't hit that headshot, there's a good chance an adjustment can come out from your opponent. Grixer a little sad about that one. More than likely thought that his opponent was supposed to be stunned, but the stun actually working against him in that situation.
The 4-2 half acquired by Soniqs, not bad at all, but the defensive side always can be a little difficult, very constricting. You need to hold this map control, but you don't have a lot of room to move. You're stuck in the very position often that the attack is wanting to take. And if you want to have somebody roam, it'll have to be somebody in a more solo position. That's Citizen right now over by Trophy, and Alems has read his position perfectly. The DMR puts him down to 1 HP. And while that might not be a kill, they've softened up a key player for Soniqs' lineup.
And with the certified Hood Classic, too, the Trophy drone hole, one that has been the bane of everybody's existence since the dawn of Chalet time. It's going to deal quite a bit of damage to Citizen. You can catch his professional players sometime, folks, but Citizen's not going to make the rotation over towards Fireplace Hall. That would have been the most critical error that he could have made, as BDS does have somebody lined up for any crosses coming through that space. BDS are slowly constricting the building, but they're pretty widespread right now. We have a Lems over on Trophy Rappel. We've got a couple people over on Library. They're trying to get a full understanding of how the Soniqs are handling this map control.
And how Soniqs are handling it is different than what we saw from BDS and their Bar Games defense. We do have a deployable shield this time. Rexen playing behind it on the library stairs. So those grenades or the Gon 6, any kind of explosive, the Rotero drones, for example, need to land. And it seems as the call goes out, he's forced off his drone, at least for the second, lets it fly. Does it land? No. I think the Rotero drone is gone from the impact. Nobody actually playing behind that shield. That's a phantom position at the moment. Nobody playing behind it. Instead, explosive utility used in other positions. A key lost by Shaiko. Grixer, just to finish him off, throws the C4 out, but he's saved by the windowsill and can easily be rezzed by his own adrenal surge for that.
Indeed. The drone economy not great for BDS right now, but they still have a minute remaining, and Shaiko on a pretty wiry swing right there almost loses his life, but thankfully they'll be able to maintain him and keep a 5-man up kind of situation. Try and keep these guns alive. Rexen's going to fall back into sight. With 44 seconds remaining, BDS finally have control of this top floor.
But only 40 seconds left, and it's not even full control. Gunnar was playing up here and could go for a flank later on. There's nobody from BDS in immediate position to cut off his progress across that top floor, except for Renshiro, who has now worked himself into a position on the office double. So Gunnar will likely need to retreat. Maybe join Citizen playing in that dining position. No, it's Gio, in fact, but as he goes to swing, he doesn't even shoot. BDS just cut every gunfight down that they've needed so far, but Rexon's still in stock. Takes down one, not the second. Great heads-up play by Bride. Now it is Gunnar on that long flank he gave up, who now has to retake the bomb site from BDS. Post-plant position. Can he find the one? Leaky Effect shuts him down. First attack for BDS.
And even when you think BDS has missed the mark, they quickly adjust things. There's not really any coverage over there for Gunnar for a split second. They put Renshi in. You know, things start to go awry with the plant. Bride immediately there to answer the gunfight. BDS always having something implemented to be able to pull themselves back across the line when it matters most. And these offenses looking a heck of a lot better than their defenses.
We saw it from Soniqs. Even if it's only 30 seconds left, if you can just win the fights you need to, win those key engagements, you'll win the round. BDS just so happened to do more than that. They won every single gunfight that needed to go their way, even if one maybe was a bit more ancillary to the control they needed or the take they were going for. Now, as Soniqs have lost bar games, they will not defend it again. They will instead move to kitchen and dining, and we will still need to see a roam. Rexon bringing the castle to try and fortify, make that extension official, because we'll see teams bring a deployable shield, and we'll treat library as part of the bomb site. With that castle, you know what they want, and what do BDS want? What could they be thinking with this lineup, Sam?
Let them cook. Let them cook. Let's not talk about it just yet. We'll talk about the Soniqs first. Don't even address it, folks.
Don't say a word.
As for the Soniqs, though, we're going to be starting off in kitchen. We've got a lot of pretty cool utility here. Fenrir and Solus especially is going to mean quite a lot. But now, I'll let you off the hook. What do you want to say?
We have the sends, boys.
Oh, yeah. It's making a lot of sense, ain't it?
Ah, you're clever, aren't you?
No.
But seriously, they've got those ROU projectors. They have that light wall that cuts off vision for a long portion of any part of the bomb site. And what do Soniqs not have? What is not an operator?
Do I get to play
that's
trivia?
part of the...
Do I get to play? Me.
What do they not have?
It's the warden.
They do not have the warden that is meant to look through these smokes, these flashes, the light wall from the sends, and that might just cost them with so much utility on the board. Gio takes down Alem's first and foremost. Rexon follows up on the second. Alem's cut down. This execute that seemed to be so explosive, so exciting. Nothing is going BDS's way. Soniqs have won every 1v1 given to him, and Licky Fact tries to bring something back on the bathroom window, but the star player, the boy wonder, can achieve nothing in round number 8. A flawless round for Soniqs first.
Good calls, man. Good calls.
Soniqs slapping the brakes off of BDS on that entry. And they looked lost in the sauce right there, Carter. Couldn't see through their own smoke, really. Have to try and flood things out from the Solarium side, but Solarium really wasn't where the action was going on. It was like Trophy and down near sight. A lot of execution pressure flying through, but the Soniqs time and time again get the impactful kills and shut down BDS's take completely.
They didn't need the warden. They just shut it down. They said, all right, we'll just take the
Just
fight.
imagine shooting, you know?
Exactly. Imagine playing a first-person shooter. You could have the best strat in the world, but if you lose the fight, you're going to die.
Sometimes it's just about killing your opponent, you know?
It is. Ultimately, the philosophy of a first-person shooter is if the last man in the lobby is on your team, you win the round. Soniqs had all 5 on the board by the time round 8 ended. Moving into round 9, they will continue the site rotation. No bar and games just yet. No master bedroom office either. Instead, down into the basement, where we'll likely see some off-site presence, just as always. But how will BDS handle it?
Well,
5 seconds left.
we're staring at BDS's lineup right now. We're staring at these score lines, and one thing is quickly coming to the surface. And unfortunately enough for all of us, it's not really creamy or anything like that. It's really just BDS showing face from what we've seen throughout this tournament. Shaiko's at the top, the only player that's positive. The rest of the team having some impact in some very critical moments, but they're not able to keep up. And you look over at the Sonic side of things, and there is so much positivity going on. Gunnar! Oh, Shaiko! Bye-bye! Even score line as BDS might have just lost the entire plot here on Chalet. Soniqs looking to take their 6th round.
But Gunnar, don't overheat, don't lose it! You've got one kill, but pressing for more when you don't need is how great teams lose important rounds. But he will give away his life, and that's one player Citizen would have surely liked to be playing alongside him inside of Dining. We know that's what BDS want. We know what this Ram is important for as well. You typically prioritize that snowmobile position if you're Soniqs, but instead one boogie drone dedicated to just routing Citizen out of Dining. But Geo upstairs. The soft destruction is not safe just yet. He's playing inside of Office, but BDS have 3 different players to cut off his rotations. Geo on a high-flying wire on Chalet. And can he hit the balancing act? Citizen can certainly hit the shots. SQ still hold the lead.
Geo is such a distracting factor here. He'll finally go down to Brede, but the job has essentially been done. It's down to a 3 versus 3, and they really don't have the entry capability that they once had. One of these players on BDS is going to have to be the spearhead to get them into the basement.
We know it's possible. Renshiro might not be having a great game, but he's been so consistent for years. Alems as well on this roster. 3 years strong. Even if Shaiko might not be putting up the numbers, Alems can still go huge in these rounds. He's still got the great utility too, to open up holes overlooking the garage position. So much potential soft destruction just from one singular boogie drone could cut the bomb site in half. It's an even man count. Still have those mirror windows as well. Rexon decides to pop it.
I like that.
Smart play there.
Open things up in case they want to try and work their way in from wine side, which is exactly what they're going to do. They'll have to EMP down low too here, but Brede is going to get this wall open. With 30 seconds remaining, there is no rotation that's going to come out from BDS here. It's all going to be down to the stuns, trying to open things up, and then it's down to what we love most, gunfights.
Citizen got a hold blue, and Grixo got a hold the wine wall. He does so perfectly. Renshiro cut down. Alem's the only one who can cover. The Brede makes his way in. He's got the goo mine, but he can pull it out. He's got time and put this case on the floor. He's watching Dining. What a brilliant heads-up play. But Rexon just evades the angle. He doesn't die yet. Knows he's most powerful when the time is low. He's dodging and weaving his bullets like he's Neo, and he just might win the round. Alems picks up one impactless frag, and the patience from Soniqs allows them to win on time.
Well, you can call Chalet the Matrix because BDS is in here and they cannot get out, Lynx. They are constantly trying to fight fire with fire, but it's never really working out for them. They have the right mindset. They have the right ideas, but it's just not going their way. And it's mostly due to the beautiful gun skill of Soniqs, as well as those minor little adjustments right there, quickly making full sense of what BDS's take is going to be, making those adjustments over the wine side. And again, especially just icing on the cake, that little Mira addition there as they pop that, just to make sure they have some extra angles over towards that portion of the map.
That round is also one of many rounds up until this point that Soniqs, both attack and defense, have either by luck or by planning been able to completely minimize Shaiko's impact. When you have a player of this skill, it's often hard to focus on him. It's not a realistic possibility. But the effect of what's happening, whether they mean to do it or not, they've cut down Shaiko on the defense. When he's trying to get aggressive on the office balcony, Soniqs have 2 players watching the angle to shut him down. And Gunnar doing what he does best. Soniqs just set Gunnar up in a position. They say, all right, you want to do this? You want to get aggressive? We'll give you the resources to succeed. We'll put you on Solus. Go for the run out. If you die, we'll try to make the best of it. But best case scenario, you get one of the best players in the lobby.
Exactly. With players like Gunnar, this is when you go, Gunnar, go kill people and make things murky. Because if you kill somebody like Shaiko, even if you get traded out, things are more than likely going to build up to a point where your team can solve the equation. And that's exactly what we got. BDS were so flustered. There were so many different things that they couldn't abuse. Most importantly, when you take a wine attack, the verticality. There's so much wood above you, and they don't have enough bodies to try and keep people up top to be able to try and assist them through those means. So what happens? Well, first of all, Soniqs abuse it instead, as they have that player over there on the kitchen hatch, but they also have all of those other things implemented. The nitro cell, as well as the other 2 hot guns working downstairs.
The energy from Soniqs is infectious.
Dude, it is. I'm feeling it today.
Every single round is like they have won the game. But the stakes cannot be higher for BDS, and you have to wonder if that's weighing on them for Soniqs. Even if they go out in this match, even if they drop Chalet, drop Bank, go down 2-0, 2-1, they're still at SI. They still have Sao Paulo to look forward to. It'll be their major hopes dash, but the World Championship's still a possibility. For BDS, it's both. The major and the Six Invitational. If they do not make top 4, that legacy, that potential will not be realized.
Maybe in the same boat as M80. And, as I believe Iconic said on Twitter, there was a time for it to happen. You'd want it to happen now before it becomes hammer time of year. So for BDS, is this going to be the beginning of the end? The Soniqs take their map 7-3. Their defenses have been pretty solid through these last 2 defensive rounds. BDS looking like they could have held a candle here for some time, but since then, fallen off. And we'll see what they can do, especially with Shaiko still up and about.
Yeah, and it's important to remember they're not out of this. They've taken their time out. And they're attacking on Chalet 3 rounds in a row. It's happened plenty of times. It happened with W7M earlier. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to say that the 2 teams in this lobby, even if they might not be on the exact same level, we're all W7M are major champions. They're certainly contenders for the trophy. Good teams to have in the grand finals. BDS can surely win 3 Chalet attacks in a row if they've cooled their heads, talked over their strategy, and have a game plan for what to do in round 10. They're going for that library clear, but with half the round gone, they need to start pushing Gunnar, pushing Rexen out of their positions on the top floor.
They're going to have EFAC, I do believe, all the way downstairs as well, too. Alem's moving his way in the fireplace hall right now. Breedy's going to try and smoke things up on the initial angle. Could try and pre-fire things as they swing in, but it's going to be Warden, so Grixer can actually use this to its fullest advantage. Somebody's inside. Alem's just walks in and kills Grixer. Nobody's paying attention to the front door.
Now everyone from Soniqs has to go for the retake. Citizen finds one behind the bar bomb, so 4v4. He can find it outside the window, too. The diffuser planter, though. Capitao only gets 1. It's cost a lot of HP, but Soniqs have the advantage. But sitting outside this window is Renshiro and Lickifak as well on the other side. Even if Renshiro goes down, do they know about Lickifak's position? He's been waiting the whole round, but Renshi's got to hold it down. Got to keep their attention, keep Soniqs aggro for just a little bit longer. Gio starts the defuse. Lickifak reveals his position. Renshiro's got to land this kill. Landed he does, but Rexen trades. Lickifak finds 1. Where's Gunnar? What is he to do? He's all the way outside. He hops back in, and Lickifak's got the angle, but there's not enough time for Gunnar to defuse. BDS hold on. They've still got a shot at pulling out Chalet.
And the insane thing to that round right there is that if Gunnar doesn't go for some high-flying antics outside, there is a realm where he just kills EFAC when he comes inside of the actual site. But Soniqs, they're trying to solve a lot of these issues. And one of the big things being that outside presence, right? It's always so difficult in that post plant to try and deal with that window player. And they, well, they get it done, essentially, right? But obviously EFAC having that last layer there as he snuck in from Fireplace Hall. All things considered, a great round there from BDS, especially from Alems, spotting the gap in the defense and being more than willing to take it.
And that's always the beauty of BDS, even if they have such a powerful player. This team knows how to find those gaps. They know when they should hit the go button. Alems, Lickifak. I mean, Lickifak brought on this roster specifically to add exactly what he did. The patience game, but also the knowledge, the ability to know when you need to hold back to make a play later in the round. That's how he won this. That's how he worked it down from a 1v2 to a 1v0 to keep BDS in the contest on Chalet. They have to do it 2 more times. That's a big momentum booster for BDS as they now move to attack Kitchen and Dining.
We'll also beg the question as to how Soniqs will try and fill in those gaps later on. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, especially as they are going to shift gears on over to Kitchen, so a completely different look, and really won't have to be concerned about the, things in the exact same way. Speaking of being concerned, BDS more than likely concerned with this top hold that the Soniqs have going on. Some solid utility to try and back this up here as well. So pre-fire in, but none of those bullets going to land home.
Gio will back off, but he is the only person on the site right now, so SQ, make sure you don't leave any gaps for Alems to spot this time. As Gio might be good. BDS overwhelming him on the site might just be better. There are plenty of players on that top floor from Soniqs who have those vertical angles, have the hatch back to the site. They will force the clear from BDS. Gio does lose a lot of HP though. As Shaiko, no, he is just moving on in. He's decided to take this 1v1, make Gio concerned. I'm apologizing. I was not familiar with your game, Gio, as Shaiko doesn't stand a chance. Renshiro wraps around, though. That's still the site clear. They do find the potential gap, and Alems plants behind the A-bomb. He's not visible from that hatch. And Soniqs, they've got no idea we're in a post plant. Vertical angles opened up. Gunnar can't find a lem as he retreats out the trophy window. He's just got to make it outside. Renshiro finds another, playing inside of the dining position. Rix was able to down him through the wall. A 3v3, Alems, oh, barely dodging it. Somehow the victor in that engagement, despite it costing almost all of his HP. Gunnar's now worked his way down, knows someone's West Main, but he's not even ADS'd when he takes the gunfight. Citizen releases a sound cue as his feet hit the floor. Diffuser ticking down, and no intel for Citizen to play with. 2 plants in a row, 2 big wins from BDS. And now, in round 12, whoever wins will still have a shot later in the series.
And I say they don't have to be concerned about things in the same way, but it happens the exact same way. Citizen and the rest of the gang are so focused on what's going on upstairs. There's practically a singular soul in sight, and they carve him out of there. Although Gio, fantastic shot onto Shaiko, but Renshi immediately runs back in and is able to get that refrag. Opens up the site and the potential for a plant. This is going to proc a Soniqs timeout. I mean, really, honestly, all Soniqs needed in that moment was a Solus upstairs, and they probably killed a planter, and that case is cold inside a kitchen.
It's also just great play from BDS. They send Shaiko to do his thing, and well, Gio doesn't let it happen, surprisingly. I mean, it's just Shaiko you're peeking, and somehow it works. But then it's not a solo play. It's not Shaiko going off the plan. They have Renshiro to hit that trade, to catch Gio off guard. Excellent adaptation for BDS. It's 2 rounds now. They have found an empty Sonic site setup, or at least a very minimally held Sonic site setup. Exploited that, got 2 big attacks off of it. I imagine Sonics are talking about that very thing. God is saying, all right, first off, let's calm down. Still on match point. Still just 1 round necessary to win this. But more importantly, let's make sure that if Gio's on the bomb site, he has the support he needs, where if he's getting pushed, we can start retaking, start making sure that BDS aren't in the position to set up where they're strongest.
Okay, so through this timeout, Soniqs have decided to go to Bar and Gaming. Honestly, not a bad decision. You know what BDS went for the last time. They know what they can try and fix up. And with that timeout, they'll be able to consider a lot more things instead of their adjustments. So we'll see exactly how they want to go about it. Grixer's going to dedicate some reinforcements downstairs just to make sure that you can't quickly move your way in. That's one of the main lines that we've seen throughout the history of this map. Just pop Snowmobile and make your way up main stairs. But going to be a little bit more difficult for BDS with those there. As for the rest of this, though, the Sonics should be dedicating themselves towards Library. We're going to see the deployable shield here for Rexon over towards blue. Probably partnering with a little bit of utility from Gunnar. Maybe a dread mine here or there. Be all in a big assisting effort to try and hold things down on that top level.
My magnets will protect us.
Gunnar trying his best to channel that aggression he's so famous for on these defenses. He is the most aggressive player whenever Sonics are on this side, constantly going for spawn peaks, constantly the one to try to make big hero plays, supported by his team, of course, but still the one who likely has the most confidence, it feels like, to go for those gunfights early on, but nobody from BDS bites. It's a pretty tight-knit defense from Sonics. It might not appear so on first glance, but Gio has someone close by and dining to give him a bridge back to the bomb site. Rexon as well on Library Stairs will allow anybody playing on the top floor to rotate down safely. Sonics just spreading out as far as they can without stretching themselves too thin.
All in an effort to see where this take is going to come in from BDS. So a little bit of audio here, maybe a drone rolling through there. All pieces to the puzzle that these professional players can put together, trying to assist each other with that info matrix. Lots of goo mines around this area. Not gonna try and deal with those too much. Just gonna try and get this camera here for themselves. Shaiko, he's hopped inside of Mudroom. Does have this single panel that he does have to try and deal with, but shouldn't be too difficult for him. He's just gonna try and hold on to this for the time being and wait for the rest of his team to try and wrap around.
Licky also down below in the basement. Gio as well. Whether they know about each other's presence, we'll find out at some point in the round, I have to imagine. Licky placing down a Claymore in blue. Gio instead, no, he will push deeper. Citizen finds Shaiko inside a Mudroom. That's such a nice find. Licky now pushing up the stairs, cuts down Citizen. Him and Alems now both pressuring the bomb site very early on. 3v3 acquired. Gio will rotate up Fireplace instead to try to bolster the on-site defense. Rexon holding down Library. Gio is the only one actually on the first floor. Instead, the other 2 defenders trying to stop any potential diffuser from going down via those vertical angles. That's a nice firebolt from Bride.
Oh man, this is it.
He's got him shut down.
That gets the shot. Rexon with a big one, though. We'll trade things back and forth. The plant, it's all on to Bride. Does he stick this in the 2 versus 1? He will. Gunner's not going to drop down just yet. Bride with a chance.
Just a chance. Just a 1v2. A position amongst the clutch ministers in Europe. Bride has found himself in plenty of times. Likifac was there earlier. And now it's Bride's job to do what he did on Bar in games. He's spotted and put to 1 HP. He backs off out the window, the safe position, but also a far angle. The diffuser's on the opposite side of the wall. He's gonna need to pre-fire through it and bait Soniqs for just a little longer. Intel found on Gunner. They've not hit the defuse yet. They don't know he's outside. Rexon shooting every which way. Just a little bit left. Just a couple more shots need to land for Bride. Will he find him through the wall? Gunner down! An impactless kill, as impactless gets. But for Bride, it sends BDS to overtime.
What an insane moment there from Bride. One of the best supports in the entire world. And what a clutch from him. Soniqs just not willing to try and dedicate themselves harshly to the site in that 1vx there for Bride. Really needed the info as to where he went, but just could not find him. And finally, once they actually do start donning the case, Lynx, there's only about 10 to 15 seconds remaining. That's not a lot of time for Bride to have to deal with. And, well, you reap what you sow. The Soniqs will allow overtime here up against BDS.
And it's that decision to hop outside the window, ultimately what does it for Bride. And I mean, for Soniqs, if one more bullet hits, just one bullet, it's 7-5. Soniqs have won their map pick, but now that's not the case. And when teams drop around as important as that, it's such a volatile state for the mentality. The worry that you might not win, but for BDS, they have never felt more secure.
I think EFAC was all of us in that moment, just holding on for dear life to that headset. And very scary one for the Soniqs, but there is still a game to be played, folks. Welcome to overtime here, just for an update on you guys on how this works, in case you were a little bit newer to the audience. It's 3 rounds, best of 3. We're going to switch sides every single time. So BDS will be starting us out on offense. We're going to be going over to defense for this follow-up round. Doesn't matter who wins.
It's a nice mirror window as it's now popped by Grixer. Mav tricking the wall will not be enough, as it will give an angle to Likifac if he moves up to that wall. So if they want to open up the snowmobile wall now, they will need to actually dedicate some summer charges from Bride. Unless Likifac has even fancier footwork than Citizen did on Soniqs' attacking side. So good little placement to trip up what BDS were going for. But BDS also very much focused on the wine side instead. BDS have played a slow early round, gathered the intel, set up their angles, but once they feel ready, even it's a minute and a half left in the round, they have sent it and not looked back.
This has been great from BDS, especially with the comeback there. 3 rounds in a row. Can make it 4 here if they can on the offensive side. Shaiko back on the tried and true G36C in hand and the hollow sight. I don't think you can get any more Shaiko than that. Reaching charge in, or rather round from the Ash. Trying to clean up a little bit of barbed wire and any essential pieces of utility around the space. EFAC will be able to at least get this piece of barb over here on West Main, and you can see all of BDS, for the most part, are around this portion of the building. A lot of time remaining, really looking to see if they can get the big kill to open up this site.
They're getting there right, that's it! That's the kill they needed. Citizen cut down in blue. There is still Rexon inside of the site. He's playing inside of that cubby in the middle of the pillar. He's flashed. But if BDS don't know, it's a clunky gunfight. I'm not going to lie to you, but the surprise might be enough. Soniqs also had the vertical position.
God.
Gunner hitting the flank. Will it land on West Main? Is he biding his time? Yes, he is. BDS no, but so do Alems. He's moved inside of the site. He's got the bomb down. They smoked it off, but there's Rexon. He gets the kill he needed, but BDS still have the lead. It's Geo alone inside the site. They've shut down the diffuser, but everyone from BDS seems to have some sort of multi-kill. Gunner can't see where his attacker is coming from. Match point for BDS. They've won 4 in a row, and a 5th seems oh so likely.
And never in a million years did you think that the Dread Mine would play warm building up on that side so quickly.
We're back into it, folks. for Soniqs, that might not be as much of a blessing as it is for us. Rex and Grix are obviously having a great game, but for the team, it has never been more dire. Because this isn't just some random team. This isn't some nobody that you can underestimate and maybe still win the game. Though for Soniqs against BLAST, that still was a mistake. This is BDS. This is a team who knows how to exploit your weaknesses. They've done it. 4 rounds in a row, they've done it.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Now you need to do it to them. Basement defense chosen from BDS. Remember, this is the site we talked about that was so incumbent upon Shaiko, so contingent upon him to go huge. It got them 2 rounds, but
almost
it was still
half of his kills, actually, just put this out there, almost half of Shaiko's kills have came from him playing downstairs inside of Garage. So if there was a moment for BDS to try and pull it across the line and take Chalet, take Soniqs' map pick away from them, it's more than likely going to be on this basement side.
Cade Claw incoming, but
this is a hard one.
Yeah, it's already difficult when you're not dealing with the EMP trick, but with it, it's nigh impossible. Good attempt by Brede. He still got 1 more to dedicate to a different position, and there are Hibana charges. Those are so much easier to Electroclaw trick. And Brede should be fine to delay elsewhere. Rexon slowly creeping around the library window. He was hunting for a Licky Fact, doesn't find it, but a C4 prepped underneath the single window. Does Geo know? Yes, he does. It detonates, and Geo, very thankful he made the decision to stay outside today.
Not something that us gamers do very often, but Geo gets some sun on his face instead. A little shrapnel. It's going to give the entire top floor over here to the Soniqs. A lot of BDS down low now. We have 4 bodies here, make that 5 as Alems drops in. Was playing kitchen there for a while, but they're going to fully dedicate themselves to the turtle as they're already halfway through this round. This is a natural cadence of siege on the roam game.
It's also, for Soniqs, a similar position.
Shaiko is in the exact same spot that he was in the previous round. He's playing right on the shelf, right here to the left. But Geo knows. That's why Geo's on the Monty. He's like, I can almost guarantee you, he's going to be playing around the same location. Oh my! Shaiko's getting dangerous. He's flirting with it. Moves back in. Knows that player's going to be pushing down the stairs again and again and again. Shaiko makes the most out of the moment.
But Gunnar pushes in and cuts him down. That's the kill that needed to happen. Shaiko has been the win condition for BDS on these basement defenses, and now he's gone, and now Soniqs have a lead. Geo and Alems both on low HP, but one of those significantly more important. If Geo goes down, Soniqs might have to recover the diffuser and send somebody else to put the plant, and then there's only 2 guns to deal with BDS's 3. Rexon holding down the blue flank, making sure no one can peek the snowmobile from the blue door. Grix are trying to find a place for him on this attack. Will it be down that hatch? He's sending some flashes in. Another one as Geo moves to put the diffuser down. Will anybody from BDS stop it? Nobody pushing. They've successfully staved off the defense. The C4 even gets caught on the door despite it being a second too late. Rexon with 3 to finish off round 14. Soniqs might have to go back to the defense, but at least they've got a chance.
And at a bare minimum, at least they've put up a fight here on Chalet. If BDS wants it, they're going to have to take it from Soniqs' cold, dead hands, Lynx. It's going to require all 15 on our first map in this best of 3. And in case you thought North America was going quietly into the night, it's not happening. We're taking it to the French.
And taking it to 15.
Ben, you can make holes in master.
You can hear them setting it up.
And that's that energy that we were talking about that was a little lacking on those defensive sides from Soniqs. But you can see all it requires is a little energy basis to work from. And everybody is ready and set for war. What a find there from Rexon too. He's completely blinded by the dread mine there and still more than capable of sending shots downrange and finding his target. 7-7 now. I know one guy in the world, probably Super, sweating bullets.
I think NA fans in general sweating bullets with this game. Dark Zero keeping close 8-7 to even make playoffs over Bleed, and now
gonna be out of fingernails and hair by the end of this one.
Oh yeah, it's been a rough go at it from us from North America, and Soniqs, well, they're not looking to make it any easier. 1 round, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. who will take Chalet. If it's Soniqs, they'll win their own pick, but if it's BDS, they will move into Bank as confident as they can be. It isn't to say SQ don't have a chance on Bank. They've certainly played it quite a few times in the NAL. It's still known to be a strong map for them, even if it's not one of their favorites, but it's still BDS's pick. It's still what they felt comfortable on. BDS have a staff behind them that I'm sure will have answers to whatever Soniqs throw at them. But for now, on Chalet, what are BDS to do?
What insane scorelines we've started to build up for both of these respective teams. You can see BDS starting to see if they can poke and prod in the site. Shaiko's over on West Main again. This is where we saw him enter the last time and try and go for this frag. But Soniqs, they know that this could be the potential future that BDS is looking for. And they've placed some more bodies inside of sight.
The late round reinforcement. Love it from Soniqs. From BDS, though, they were trying to cause so much concern for Soniqs that as they rotated, they might have walked in front of Shaiko, walked in front of Bride, holding the trophy window. And Soniqs does rotate back. They do move some people down to the bottom floor, but it's not enough. Soniqs keep their composure, and they'll be thankful they did, because not only is it still a 5v5, but they've not even given up the roam. Still 3 players up top.
Really just needed an extra body down low to support Geo if they do want to try and swing at the site, and that's what they've done, right? They put Gunner down here as that supporting agent, and all of this verticality is going to be so assisting to their overall setup as BDS enters now.
And he hops on in. Dreadmine reveals the position of at least one of these attackers. Will the vertical angles work for Soniqs? Geo finds one on the site. He's close with a shotgun, 2 from that long range. He downs Shaiko, but Alems keeps BDS in the game. It's a 3v3, and Alems on low HP, but for BDS players, that's not seemed to matter in a lot of key moments in these engagements. A pause. BDS have part of the bomb site, but not all of it. They're stuck in Trophy, they're stuck in West Main. They've not actually moved in yet, and Soniqs recognize this.
Well, low HP for 2 of these players. But the pivotal position working out from Soniqs Lynx, it's making them sweat. A calm in the storm, because if BDS does try and flood the gates, they more than likely lose the round. They have to try and deal with this top hold now, but such little time. In fact, what can you do here? Has to try and get aggressive eventually. This timer is eating at them. He pre-fires through upstairs. Alems trying to get some extra information for them as well. And here we go. A big moment from Rexon. He'll equalize here in the 3 versus 3.
And Shaiko low HP again. This can be very quickly a 3v2, but Shaiko's made it in. Bride as well. They're watching the hatch. The main vertical angle to deny this plant. Licky back on this lurk has finally found his kill. Just barely survives. Rexon cuts him down, but it's all a distraction. 19 and 9. Him and Citizen both putting up big numbers, have put it all on Shaiko. The star BDS, and it doesn't matter! Through the ceiling, they send bullets down, raining upon Shaiko, and by the skin of their teeth, and with a little bit of luck, Soniqs take their pick, 8-7.
It's a Herculean effort up against the French powerhouse that is BDS. But Soniqs, with that energy, Gunner especially, popping off right now.